So when I'm talking about the magic and the mystery and the wonder, it's getting into the space of allowing yourself to understand that there's a lot of stuff you don't really know. And when we start to get inside a space to study that, that's when it becomes understood. But when you don't have a method to take you into another space like that, when it's all just surface, this is the point. So that's why there is meditations and these things. And it's a full series of progression. There is science to what I'm doing. The science is the physical movements put your body into natural, proper proportions, allowing the physiology of your body to function at the highest, most efficient, simplest way possible, allowing you to then maximize what you can do with a smaller amount of fuel, leaving a smaller footprint on the world, taking less and doing more. Let me remind you, those pyramids were built by slaves, and none of them ever had any superfoods, supplements, steroids. None of them worked out to do it. No, on the contrary, they didn't have barely anything. So how did they do it? So quit thinking that you need all this other stuff and understand what I'm really showing, man. I'd say typically it's a component of three things, maybe. The first one being a lack of awareness and focus on breathing and moving together in function of the body getting adequate enough oxygen to not fatigue. If you move and didn't breathe, the body doesn't have enough oxygen for the movement, and if you continue to move, you're behind on breath. Now we're breathing out of our mouth. Now we're making bad decisions. Now less oxygen's going to the brain. Well, that's some real basic stuff. But if you're worried about doing, power cleans and push-ups and drilling, but you haven't sunk in the synchronicity of each movement and each breath up from relaxed level all the way to the highest extremes, and how to manage and bring down the heart rate within the minimal amount of breaths, that's what that take your 5 recovery breaths about. Again, this is real science. I don't know why the proof isn't shown there when he's so fresh. How come nobody's saying anything? Again, Cormier is talking shit about him drooling out of his mouth, but doesn't really say, geez, it's pretty obvious Diego's had his nose broke 4 or 5 times. I apologize. That's kind of rude. I don't know why I said that. Being a fighter, it is hard to breathe in and out of your nose out there. A normal person, but instead he tried to be cute and funny, and this is what comes from the Joe Rogan shit. And this is what I'm talking about poisonous stuff. So you poison the minds of the people, and this is why you're asking me these questions instead of asking me the questions that should be asked. You're not, like what? Like, why is the ref asking Diego anything? If you look at the rules, it is an automatic DQ no matter if there's a split, no matter what. Earlier in the event, there was a DQ. Nobody needed to ask anybody anything. Kid gets knocked out. Boom. No ask. Okay. The rule is only a ref or the commissioner can make the call. And that's the call to DQ. That's not the call that the fighter can continue to fight like that. Like it's either DQ or not. So then you put Diego on the spot. This is a Hall of Famer, an active Hall of Famer. You put him on the spot in a fight that he was supposed to lose, in a spot that he's supposed to lose. And now, in his hometown where he's supposed to be fucking slaughtered, and it's obvious when Cormier's talking the language of the slaughter. And nobody can see the amazing performance that Diego's actually doing fighting this giant that he's supposed to lose to, that nobody wants to fight. Okay. So why is the UFC or whomever is requesting this piece of information to push forward in the media the days after the fight to slander Diego Sanchez's legacy? Not to mention the USADA shit. Not to mention, 3 monsters in a row, man. Can Diego Sanchez get a fair fucking fight? Well, I'll tell you right now, when we were in the warm-up room with Masvidal before Chiesa, I didn't feel Masvidal was an outsized person. I don't feel McGregor is an outsized person. I don't feel Maia is. What I'm saying outsized is 4 to 5, 6 inches of reach. What I'm saying outsized and outmatched is, 10-year difference. How about 6? How about 5? Shit, can we get a guy in his mid-30s? Like, what's going on? Can we not slaughter Diego on on ESPN in his home fucking town, and nobody thinks this is rude? Nobody's bringing attention to the 5 minutes that Piera is being booed for getting a championship fucking walkout, man. And nobody told us, hey, you get to do something special, hey, do whatever. No, nobody said nothing. And you notice we just walk out. Like, what's going on here? So clearly everything's been set up for Piera to kill Diego on national like on television. Like, it's crazy. And nobody's like, yeah, dude, that was crazy, unfair. And somehow Diego survived that onslaught. But his coach's cornering is weird and strange from a guy that doesn't fucking know Diego. Never really spent time with Diego. Diego will tell you he doesn't know that Whitman character. So now here's a guy on the live, on the broadcast, clouding off of a Hall of Famer, taking his moment. You see now what's really going on, my friend? And on top of it, why is the community going to bully me, but yet nobody's offered to help Diego? I don't see 10 physical therapists to replace me. I don't see a nutritionist company coming. I don't see any trainers. I don't see, yeah, you can say, oh, my doors are open. You can come fly your ass to my gym and leave your kid. But I'm here customizing and tailoring it to fit into his life so he still has a life. This is why Diego looks the freshest and does the most in all the stuff. So your argument of saying Diego should cut weight is really, why isn't there a 165? Asking that man to go to where it is denying the fact that there's not a 165. So there's no space for him to go down because that is unhealthy. Diego goes a little overboard talking about what he walks around at. That's bullshit. Season, Diego's 188, 190. All right? He blows up. You've seen him butterball. All right? So we do a slow lean out, a progressive thing throughout the camp so that his system isn't shocked because he is 38. Now, how come you guys are not acknowledging how well Diego is speaking? How much more he's able to do? Why he's able to have these long interviews? Like, he's doing more than most people. And if you go look at, we went to the UFC PI, so the UFC knows we were at the PI training with Tristan Colony. How come they didn't mention that in the story? Well, that might make Joshua Fabia look like a good coach. Yes, exactly. That would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Let's train with – come on. And then on top of it, I went all the way in the Philippines, saw Landslide, saw Mark Saggio of Team Lakai, and was out there recruiting to see if I can get Diego Strike Camp out there. At Team Lakai. But I'm a joke, man. That's the image that is out there. Tell me what other coaches are doing that. I took him – hold on. On top of it, I took him to the Middle East, had him training with world-class competitors over there. But I'm a joke, man. Yeah, that would be an obvious that was what I said. But also, you're not in the situation that we're in where it's a in-between contract situation. And so we're under a different type of pressure, you know? The attitude and the air is there like, oh, well, the contract re-sign is there if you take this fight, and the pressure's on, it's hometown, and we'll do that. You know, like, that's why. Wasn't like they were giving us any options when Pettis already called them out. Maya already called them out. They never offered us any of that. They aren't offering us a actual fight that anybody would see any of the things that I've taught Diego. No, you got him with monsters, man, and he still pulled off 2 out of 3. And to be honest with you, Chiesa was a master level of defense too. Chiesa tried his hardest. He can finish people, okay? He got Diego in 4 or 5 dangerous spots. Diego escaped. Come on now. Why is nobody talking about that? Like, say what you see correctly without the bias. And if you actually say that, I don't turn out to seem so crazy. I don't seem out to be the weirdo voodoo corner man. Like, maybe take a look, man, at what I've actually done in the world. Take a look at how many verified pros and other real athletes. I mean, even in the Middle East, in Jordan, I was just out there. I just posted a video just to show everybody, even though it's not your business, man, of me working with Jarrah, the welterweight champion of Brave, and Sammy, his coach. So don't act like I don't know how to build a team. I got a fucking worldwide team. You guys just act like I got to go to one place instead of giving Diego culture, education, wisdom, the things that happen in all the other spaces. You guys are really hot on